And the ayes have it. You are properly before us now. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman and Committee. House Bill 1084 would begin a limited grant program to reimburse LEAs, charter schools, private schools, and first responders to purchase anti-choking devices. This grant is limited to $500,000 from July of this year through July of 2028. Schools may purchase one device per cafeteria, and first responders such as fire and EMS may purchase one per vehicle. The Department of Health would promulgate the rules pertaining to the eligible devices for reimbursement and would administer the program. And this amendment would ensure that the department has the resources to administer the program. And I want to thank my friend and constituent, Mr. Rob Creswell, who's with me today. He and I went to high school together, and he's brought this need of legislation to our attention. And if it please the committee, Rob is here, and I would like, Mr. Chairman, if he could testify on behalf of this legislation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Any objection? Not seeing any. We'll go out of session and introduce our guest speaker. If you don't mind coming up to the podium or the seat there, whichever you prefer, state your name for the record, and then you'll have 3 minutes.
Hi, I'm Rob Creswell from Chattanooga. Thank you, committee, for hearing me today. On August of 22, my brother and his wife had a restaurant in Chattanooga, and Greg, he choked on a piece of steak, and people panicked, and the waitress tried to get Greg to do the Heimlich with him, and in the meantime, Greg, he lost consciousness, and he fell on the floor, and they weren't sure what to do. A gentleman started doing CPR with Greg. The fire department showed up about 12 minutes later, and Greg was brain dead. He passed away 5 days later. During Greg's funeral, I found out about a device, anti-choking device called a LifeVac. I ordered one, and amazing device. I called the president of the company in New York, talked to him about it. The device had never lost anybody in the time that they had invented the device. Since then, it's saved over 4,000 people and never had one victim. The Heimlich maneuver is about 63% effective, and this anti-choking device is 100% effective. The Red Cross approves the device along with conventional methods, backslapping and the Heimlich maneuver. The choking is the 4th leading cause of death of children under 5 years old and a leading cause of death of people over 65 years old. After going through this, we started, I decided this wasn't going to happen again in our community, so we started a 501c3 called Greg02. We have put out over 2,200 devices in Hamilton County area and surrounding schools, and we've got them in every police car, every restaurant in Hamilton County. We've had many saves so far since we've put them out in the community. We've put over 2,200 out. Our goal is to have them in every food service area in Tennessee, and then hopefully that catches on and goes forward. So just a totally amazing device. It's a simple device. It's like a suction. It's you put it to your mouth, place, push, pull. Many people have saved themselves. It's just something that everybody needs to have with them. And so really excited to get it in the community, and I appreciate y'all for having me here today.
Thank you, sir, for the presentation. Representative McKenzie, you have a question? You're recognized.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you for coming. Again, I know you came last year, and first time I'd ever heard about it was last year, and you gave us devices. I actually donated mine to my local high school for reasons that, well, why you're in front of us today. It's ability, I would love to have it, but the chances are it happened at a more public event than me being around. So again, thank you for your advocacy, and you know, the one thing that I've seen and it's a quiet event. People think it's kind of like the drowning. It's when someone's choking. There's, you know, until it's almost too late. There's nothing really visible that you see them, other than than that. But my question to you is, as you described your brother's tragic event, I know I'm not going to CPR class, but sometimes it's good to educate people. What's the best way to deal with that, I guess, sitting, and then what's the best way to deal with that, absent this device, once he falls? I'm sure you've, done a lot of work on that. Do you know how to deal with a choking person, maybe sitting or standing, as opposed to when they fall in?
Well, it just depends on where they are. People in wheelchairs, it's almost impossible to do the Heimlich. We advocate the Heimlich maneuver because everybody doesn't have an anti-choking device. So if you go to grego2.org, we have directions on the Heimlich. But it just depends on what position the person's in. With this anti-choking device, it doesn't matter if they're standing up, sitting down, laying down, in any position. But a back slap is another way that the Red Cross is approved, and that's 5 hard slaps on the back, and you continue that up to 4 times. So that's a way that if you're in a position and somebody is choking, that's one way that you can do that. The trouble with the Heimlich is you can't, if you're a small person, you can't get around a large person. And so there's some setbacks on the Heimlich. It can break ribs in some people. So I hope I answered your question.
Representative, you recognized.
You did, and again, I know you're talking it every day, but the whole 5 slaps 4 times is probably news to a lot of people. So again,
Right.
Thank you for your advocacy. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions? Yeah, Representative Mitchell, you recognized.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. How much does one of these life packs cost?
So we put them in acrylic containers, and we came up with acrylic container because we were afraid they come in a bag, and we were afraid that they would get put in a drawer, and when somebody had an emergency, people would forget where they put it. So we supply acrylic box, and with that box, it cost us about $70 to put one on a wall. So it's very inexpensive.
Thank you.
Yes.
Any additional comments, questions? I appreciate you, Mr. Rob, bringing this to us and
Thank you.
discussing that. Obviously, it's a life-saving tool for many, but especially with our young kids as
Yes.
well, as we
Yes.
discussed. But I appreciate
Yes.
that.
Thank you
Without
very
further
much.
objection, we'll go back into session. Representative recognized. Any further questions for the representative? Not seeing any. Without, let's see. Madam Clerk, we will take a vote, if you don't mind opening the vote. All those in favor of House Bill 1084, vote aye. All opposed, no. Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
Mr. Chairman, 8 ayes, 0 nays.
The ayes have it. House Bill 1084 moves on to Health 4.
Thank you, Chairman in committee.